told you as a YouTuber you could double the amount of money you make from every brand deal in 30 seconds. And actually there are 4 more mistakes you're probably making with brand deals, but we'll get to those later. So this first mistake, MrBeast was amazing at solving it. He'd been struggling for 7 years on YouTube. He hadn't made a penny. His channel wasn't growing. His mom wanted him to quit.
Whenever I try to quit, my body just starts doing dumb things.
But then he finally got a brand deal. And what did he do? He asked them to double it. And that's the first mistake you're making. You're going in too low. You need to double it. Just this week alone, I have increased every one of my clients' offers by simply asking. I doubled 2 of my clients' brand deals, and yesterday I was actually able to close a deal that was 4x the original offer. So how did Jimmy do it? For his first brand deal with Quid, he asked them to double the $5,000 original offer to $10,000.
Just double the money. I promise the video will go viral.
With the sell that if they doubled the offer, he would walk outside and give the $10,000 cash to a homeless man. What a great pitch, appealing to the brand's desire to do good and combining that with an attention-grabbing hook. And you know what? MrBeast is a genius because that video currently has over 10 million views. So the first mistake that every creator makes with their brand deals is not asking for more money. Why is this so common and such a bear for a creator to tackle? Well, if you've been a creator on YouTube, you know how hard it is to grow. That first 1,000 sub seems impossible to get. Good on YouTube for lowering that threshold to get monetized to 500 just this week. Most of us are told that the first 1,000 subs takes a full year. For some, it's faster. For some others, it's even longer. So to get a brand deal after putting content into the big black void is a dream come true. Someone is actually watching our videos and actually likes me. Oh, I mean, you know, our videos, right? Enough that they want to pay me to talk about their products. Let's go. I'm all for it. Not pay me and give me a free product? Great. $250, I'll do it. You know it's too low, but you're afraid to ask the brand for more. You think the following: what if they get mad and take the deal away? They do not have enough money in the budget, right? I will just do this one for free or low, and the next one they will for sure pay me more. I should be grateful for any brand deal. No, 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 and no. How do I know this? Because every single deal I've negotiated, either for myself as a creator or for my clients, I've always gotten a yes. The agency or the brand always agrees to pay more. I'm realizing that this video is going to be too long if I break down all the tips on how to price yourself on a brand deal. So I'm going to make this a series actually, and in my next video, I'm going to break down exactly how much to ask a brand for when they ask you for your price. Ask the brand what their goals for the campaign is, and when the brand sees you as a professional, they will want to partner with you. Always make sure you make it about them and not about you. They know you love their products and they know your subscriber count. Don't talk about that. Talk about how much you can help them connect with your loyal audience and convert those audience members to a customer for them. So remember to subscribe and catch that next video when it comes out. Before we continue to mistake number 2, let me tell you the most important piece of advice I'm going to give you in this video, and I will most likely repeat this many times in future videos. Respond to brand emails immediately, like as soon as you finish reading the email. I know you're gonna say, but I don't know how much to ask for. Doesn't matter, just respond with interest and later that day, figure out how much you wanna ask for. In my next video, I'm going to talk about how to do your research to know how much to pitch them and to figure out what the brand is interested in by looking at their past campaigns at the same time of year as last year. What did they do during fall of 2022? That will tell you how to pitch your deal for the current campaign. So mistake number 2 is not understanding usage rights. And I get it, these can be complicated and sometimes drafted in such a way that it's hard to really understand how and where the brands are going to use your video. Will your video be used on the brand's O&O, which stands for owned and operated, like their YouTube channel or their website? Will it be used in paid ads, like commercials? It's really important to ask the brand how they're going to use your video, because the wider the usage means the more money you should ask for. If you're new here, I'm Tyler. I've been an attorney in Hollywood for the last 15 years, working at companies like Disney, Skydance, and BuzzFeed. And I recently decided to walk away from Hollywood and start my own law firm representing creators. And I absolutely love it. It is incredible how many creators are out there totally winging it without anyone protecting them. And I'm talking about channels with million-plus subs. So now I'm helping creators build out their businesses, courses, products, and teams, which includes employment agreements and putting NDAs in place. You have to protect your IP. And of course, a big part of my work for my creator clients includes negotiating their brand deals and redlining the brand agreements. At first, I thought brands were taking advantage of creators, but it's not that simple. Brands are simply going to have the most protective and beneficial agreements for themselves. And it's your job to make sure that you have someone review it for you, like your agency or an attorney. And before I go to the third mistake, make sure you stay until mistake number 5 about indemnity. It's probably the most important provision, but the least discussed and understood concept in a brand agreement, because it's a purely legal concept. But if you don't understand it, it could end up costing you millions of dollars. But there's an easy fix, and I will show you exactly how to avoid it. Mistake number 3, the term. How long does the brand get to use your video for? How long does your video have to include the brand integration? The takeaway here is that it needs to be limited, sometimes to 30, 60, 90 days, but it should never be in perpetuity, which means forever. Remember, the longer the term, the more money you should ask for. I know there are creators out there that just keep the brand integrations in their video because it's not easy to extract or edit out. Also because they think the agreement is silent on this issue. But remember, just because something is silent doesn't mean you have to accept it. My motto is everything is negotiable. You can always ask for changes. Mistake number 4, approval rights. You might think the hardest part of a brand deal is the negotiations over the fee or the actual production of the video, but it's actually after the video is done and you send it to the brand for approval or input. This is where it can get dicey. Sometimes a brand has small changes like needing to add their assets or logos in certain places, but sometimes they have substantial changes. And this is why it's important to capture all of this in the agreement before you even make the video. Sometimes a brand will not say anything about approval rights or edits in the agreement, but that doesn't mean the brand won't ask for changes. Don't assume an absence of language means nothing is expected. So how do you avoid having to make endless changes? Send the brand a concept proposal before you make your video, and that can eliminate a lot of issues because the brand will then know how you are planning on incorporating their product or services and how you plan on talking about the product or their brand. And this will also signal to the brand that you are a professional and not just winging it. Finally, mistake number 5. This is probably the most important one. If you take away anything from this video, this is it. Indemnity. In talking to many creators, the one concept that they do not pay attention to in their brand deal is the indemnity. And this freaks me out because it's the one provision that every creator, or actually anyone signing an agreement, should understand. So what is indemnity? Indemnity is a contractual agreement between two parties in which one party agrees to pay for potential losses or damage caused by another party. So what does that mean in a brand deal? So let's say a brand deal gets sued for something that's in your video or asset made for the brand. And if the indemnity is one-sided and not capped, then the brand can turn around and come back and ask you to cover all of their legal fees, which could range from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. And I would know, litigation is just very expensive in America. So what can you do to protect yourself? Make sure the indemnity is mutual so that if you get sued, then you can turn to the brand and get your attorney's fees covered. And make sure to cap the indemnity to the amount of the contract. If you get paid, let's say $5,000 for a sponsorship, they don't get to turn around and get 6 or 7 figure legal fees from you. You might be wondering, how common is this? Does it actually happen? And in the past, I might have said it doesn't happen that often. However, there have been a rise in false advertising lawsuits. Let's not forget about the whole FTX debacle where a whole bunch of YouTubers got sued because they let FTX sponsor their videos. In fact, I did a video on this where I covered all the finance YouTubers who were getting sued, and I will link that below. And this is where you need to think about doing your own due diligence on brands when you're considering an offer. Now, unless you're going to be doing a lot of crypto deals, you're probably going to be fine. But recently there was a bunch of lawsuits against the luxury hairline Olaplex, which I personally use. This is a very beloved hairline. Women have all filed suit claiming the product contains allergens and irritants that have resulted in brittle hair and hair loss. I know you're probably thinking, I already have enough things to worry about with brand deals. Now I have to worry about getting sued? Well, this is why the indemnity provision is so important and why you need to pay attention to it. I realize all of this is really complicated and can be overwhelming, and this is why I'm pivoting my channel and actually my whole life towards protecting creators and explaining the legal issues confronting creators as they build out their channels and their businesses based on their channels. For those of you who are new, you might not know that I started my channel last year while working as a full-time attorney in Hollywood, wanting a creative outlet. So I would film at night after my kids would go to sleep or on the weekends where I would ask my husband to take the kids to the park. And so I made videos about trending stories with a legal analysis like the Try Guys Ned Fallmer scandal and the Balenciaga campaign that was so awful and disgusting, featuring children in bondage wear and some other gross elements, or the Alec Baldwin fatal shooting on his movie Russ. But now I'm walking away from Hollywood because I'm done being part of the old guard, protecting the studios and big companies, and I started my own law firm called The Creators Law Firm by Tyler Chou, a creators law firm by a creator. And even though I do not even have a website or my incorporation's done yet, I already have several creator clients with big channels. Is that because I'm awesome? I don't know about that, but I think it's because the demand is so high and most traditional lawyers are not even paying attention to the space, and that is a mistake. Do you know that in the next 5 years, we're going to grow from 50 million creators to 500 million creators? It is the ultimate American dream. There's no cost to entry. If you have a camera or a phone and can edit, you can publish a video on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok and create a following and an entire business to sustain yourself. Did you know that over 50% of kids nowadays say that they want to be a YouTuber or influencer when they grow up? The dream job of being an astronaut, doctor, or lawyer has been knocked out by YouTubers. And why is this? I think think we're just tired of being handcuffed to a corporate 9-to-5 just because we were taught that it's what we're supposed to do. Well, all those I quit videos on YouTube shows that we're done being unhappy, stuck in soul-sucking jobs where we are bound to the whims of a company or a boss who can just decide to lay you off, as many people in the tech industry can attest to in recent days. Creators are really the soul of humanity. They show us that there's beauty in the act of creation, creating for education and for entertainment. As a creator myself, there's no greater honor than protecting and supporting my fellow creators. As you grow, I will be there to provide advice through my videos, but personally too, through my law firm. For the bigger creators, I can support you directly, especially as you're building out your teams, products, courses, and businesses. A lot of my mentors are telling me to just focus on the big creators because that's the easiest path and probably the easiest way to get business. But I've always taken the path less traveled, and I'm going to offer masterclasses with smaller creators, those of you with less than 100,000 subs. There will be a link below to my weekly Zoom classes where you can bring your brand deal questions or any legal questions, and I will answer them for you. And that way we can all learn from each other. You can hear about other creators, brand deals, and what is common right now in the space, maybe about other campaigns that you can go after. You can just come and listen. If you don't want to share the details of your brand deal, that's okay. You can ask general questions. I just do not want to gatekeep information from anybody. The cost will be low, but not free, so that everyone shows up. And remember, free is not valuable to anyone, so never do free brand deals. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch my next video in my brand deal series, where you can figure out how much to charge brands and how to actually go after brand deals yourself, instead of waiting for it to come into your inbox, because that is passive and you need to actively go after these brand deals. And in the meantime, catch this video where I explain why we are obsessed with celebrities and why celebrity endorsements sell so well, especially with products like crypto and brands like FTX. This is Tyler, the creator's attorney. I'm going to have to get used to saying that, not saying the Hollywood attorney anymore. Remember, we are born perfect and we forget, and we are worthy of being paid for our services and being paid fairly, and sometimes more than we think we are worthy of. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.